Hello and welcome back to another episode of Anchor TV Interviews. As always, my name is Tim Yean, Sports Manager for Anchor TV. For today's Monday episode, I'm honored to be here with senior runner for the Rhode Island College track and field team, Haley Oliver. Haley, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well today. Thank you for having me, Tim.
Yeah, a pleasure to have you. Just to get a little prelude here, Haley, multiple records, probably the top runner for track and field cross country, one of the already, cemented herself as one of the best track and field and cross country athletes in the program history. I think the numbers show it already, but first off, it's only a month or two until you can call it a career here with the Anchorwoman and the track and field program overall. After these 4 years, how does it feel to, be able to finally say, I'm done with college?
It's certainly bittersweet. I'm already feeling that nostalgic feeling of I'm going to miss track. I've loved the last 4 years here. I love competing. I love getting out there every weekend and getting to compete cross country, indoor and outdoor. So I'm certainly feeling that bittersweet feeling now that I only have I think I have 5 meets left until I graduate. So it's crazy.
5 meets. I think it's every week this spring season you've had to travel down somewhere for a meet. I know this past weekend you
we were at Bryant.
Bryant.
Yep.
For the Ocean State Cup. Broke the 1,500 meter record there. Maybe get a little bit more into that in the interview. And also next, the Ed Daniels Invitational in Manchester.
That's in New Hampshire. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So obviously a very busy schedule, especially on weekends. But let's go back to your high school days at Coventry, where you started your initial interest in track and field and running in general. What was running for the Okers like, and how did you get started with that?
I started my freshman year of high school. I started running for them, and I actually used to be a hurdler, a sprinter, and I ended up turning to distance because I just was better at it. I liked it more, and I did that up until my senior year. I did not compete my sophomore or junior year at Coventry. I actually quit for a little while. I went back to it my senior year, and I just fell in love with it again.
Yeah.
So, and then I decided to go to college.
What was that motivation to, first off, if you can, why you quit, and then why you ended up rejoining, if you
Honestly, I did not like running. That's the truth. I really didn't like it. I said, this is not for me. And my dad, actually, I have to thank him. He got me back into it. And, I thank him all the time for doing that, because I've loved the last 5 years, 6 years of competing in high school and in college. So.
Right, that's awesome. Now looking on your college decision, what about Rhode Island College, compared to maybe some other schools you received offers from, convinced you that their track and field, or our track and field program, was the one that you wanted to be connected and committed to?
Actually, believe it or not, I really didn't get many offers. I think I got 2 or 3 offers from a few schools around New England and around the East Coast. But I decided to go to Rick because my high school coach knew the Rick coach, and she reached out to him and said, my athlete Haley, she's thinking of running in college. And so he reached out to me, and then we kind of got the ball rolling that way. But I actually didn't apply to college. I didn't apply here until after my high school graduation. So I was very late to the enrollment process, but I ended up getting in, and of course it's been an amazing 4 years, and I've loved it.
Yeah, it's been fantastic just, watching that growth. From being a freshman, starting, to now being one of the leaders on this track and field, and also in the fall cross country squad, how has it been elevating from just starting off to now being one of the top, not only one of the top runners in the program right now, but one of the best runners we've seen in Rick Athletics? It's
been a really big learning curve. Of course, from being a freshman in college to now, I've learned so much. I've learned how to actually race. I've obviously gotten faster. So it's just been a big learning curve. I've gotten more into the weight training. So, not only just focusing on running, but I'm trying to improve myself in other aspects, in the weight room, and that's helped me become faster as well. So just all around, I've just learned so much over the last 4 years, and yeah.
And coming off of that, talking about Coach Tim Rudd and all the, assistant staff or assistant coaches, with Rudd, how much have they played an impact to your development as a student athlete here, both, maybe on the track and also academics-wise?
They've played a huge help. They're big on us doing well in school too, and they've held people out of meets, just if their grades weren't good. So they take academics pretty seriously. So that's also been like a fire under me where I'm like, okay, like I have to do well in school in order just to keep competing because I love competing so much. So that's helped me a lot in my academics, just having them there.
All right, awesome. Now, going over to your numerous accolades, we talked about this before the interview. But I didn't really get into what was the first program record that you remember breaking, and what was that initial reaction to that?
I think my first program record was the mile, my freshman year. Yeah, yep, the mile in indoor, my freshman year of college. Yep.
Okay.
And I think I only broke it by like a second or two at the time, but yeah.
Did Coach Rudd tell you that you broke the record? Right after you?
I think previous to the race, he had told me like, this is the record. I think you can do it. So that kind of gave me that motivation. I remember it was at Boston University. So he kind of told me that, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it today.
Yeah.
And then that was that.
And then after that, it's incredible you did it your freshman year too. So
Yeah,
right off the jump.
Yep.
And just starting to break records. Following up, what's the record that you are most proud of breaking?
I think 2 weekends ago at Bryant in the 10K. That I think I was most proud of. That was a 50-second PR in the 10K. So I think I just kind of blew the doors off that day and really shocked myself with the time that I ran. So.
Was there like any sort of change to like your prep that weekend, or maybe how that mentality coming into that?
I think my mindset was just I wanted to go for it. I haven't qualified for the national championship in track. I've been in cross country a couple of times, but I've never qualified in track, and that's been something I've been really motivated to do. So I think my mindset going into that 10K was like, I'm gonna do it this season. I'm gonna qualify, and I think I'm 7th in the country still for that 10K, and they take the top 20 or 21. So it's looking good. I got to keep that time. So.
Yeah. And alongside those records, another runoff question. You've broken your own program records, I know, in a couple of events. So I guess to that, how does it feel to hear the fact that, maybe for some events that you've ran in that you've not only broken the previous program record, but you've also broken your own record, which was the program record.
Yep. It feels great. I mean, to me, I just see it as like, okay, that's improvement from where I was last season or last year, so that makes me feel proud that I know I'm improving. I don't really see it as like a program record, but I just see it as like I'm breaking my own best time from previous seasons, and that's how I know I'm improving and doing something good in my training. So.
Yeah, right. So flipping to cross country, like I said, fall season mainly. You've been to a couple of national championships mainly, or only multiple D3 national championships. From your first appearance to your latest, how is it competing against the best of the best, on a national stage compared to maybe sort of a regional meet or qualifying meet?
I mean, first off, there's just a lot more women at the national championship. You're going against like 300 and something women on one starting line, and regionals, of course, is a little bit smaller. And simply, it's just faster. I mean, these girls are legit. I mean, when we go out that first mile, it's blazing, it's fast, and it's certainly something you have to get used to. And I think my first nationals, I was a lot more nervous than the second time I went, because it was a whole new experience. And again, it's nationals, so I was a little nervous, and I went into it not knowing what to expect, of course. So when I went back again my senior year, I was a little more prepared. So.
How is that change in regimen? When you're going to nationals, feel like, is it different diet and different sort of like exercises or practices you take part in that to really hype yourself up, or mentality wise, what do you do to sort of like psych yourself prior?
So normally the way the training goes is I put in a lot of mileage, a lot of volume in the workouts, a lot of speed workouts the months leading up to that championship. And then 2 weeks prior to the championship, I taper. So I cut everything down. I cut the mileage down, the volume, everything gets cut down so that I can be best prepared. Because at that point, you really don't have much more work to put in. By the time you get to the national championship, you want to taper so your body's ready to try to run fast.
What's been some notable changes to either the campus or the team from when you first started? I think one of the bigger ones is that new track and field complex for Rhode Island College.
Yeah, they built a new track starting in 2023. They tore up the old one. I think it's the soccer field now. And they put a new track in behind the dorms. And it's obviously a big improvement. I mean, a brand new track. It's beautiful. It's new. That's been great. And then in terms of the team's a lot bigger. I believe my freshman year, there's about 25, 30 people on the team. Now there's 60.
Yeah.
We have about 55, 60. So the numbers are big. We've now been able to go to meets and really compete because we have the numbers and we have the talent. It's also a really talented team and a young team. We've got a lot of freshmen and sophomores, and they're just such hard workers. They're amazing. So it's been a really great dynamic change from my freshman year to now.
And it's also something I've noticed, walking through Donovan, always, some members of the team just around near that pole, just talking about.
We're always sitting there, yeah.
So has that become a bigger table through the years, or from when you started? That
Oh
Donovan
yeah,
table?
certainly. Yeah, a much bigger table, and everyone gets along. It's just a great dynamic. We all hang out. We do things outside of practice, so it's a great dynamic.
And talking about those practices, those Don lunches, what are some of the best memories you've had from meets, again practices, and maybe some other activities?
I think some of my best memories are just building the relationships I've built with a lot of the people on the team, and I can tell that they're going to be lifelong friendships, and I think that's the best part of it.
That is the best part of it. Final question for you today, Haley. First off, thanks so much for being here. What's one final message that you would want to give your teammates before you walk that graduation stage?
Give it all you got, every race. You only have 4 years, and those 4 years fly by. You don't want to leave with any regret. So give it all you got, every meet, every race, to the last meter. Yep.
Awesome. That's some great words. Hopefully your team watches it and they'll reach to the end to
I hope so,
hear those
yeah.
words. Just like to say thank you so much again, Haley, for joining me today here on Anchor TV Interviews. First athlete I've actually interviewed throughout this entire series, and I'm the sports manager for Anchor TV, so I think I should be getting more on that.
Yeah, right.
But
thank you for having me, Tim.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you so much. I know this is coming right after class, so
Yep.
Thank you for taking the time once again.
Of course.
Once again, Tim Yean here, sports manager for Anchor TV with Haley Oliver. Hope we get to see you the next time around. Thank you for watching this episode. Be sure to follow Anchor TV on YouTube, Instagram, all that jazz. For Anchor TV, this has been Tim Yean signing off. Have a great day, everyone.